Hi scholars, I hope everyone is doing well. I'm back today with one of my favorite stories called Caps for Sale. We haven't had a chance yet to read this in class, and I chose it, well, I don't want to give anything away yet, but I think you'll see why we chose it during the week where we're learning about rainforests. You see them on the cover a little bit. We might meet some animals that you can find in a rainforest. I didn't realize they were hiding in there. So let's check this out. The cover is a little bit worn because I read it so often, this story. Caps for Sale. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not an ordinary peddler carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight. Can you hold yourself very, very straight so as not to upset his caps? As he walked along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." I think he's trying to earn some money. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning, not even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town, slowly, slowly, so as not to upset the caps. He walked for a very long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel if they were all straight. First he checked for his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and on the very top, the red caps. What do you think's going to happen? He looks kind of sleepy, huh? They were all there, so he went to sleep for a very long time. Pretend to go to sleep. Good night. When he woke up, he felt refreshed and rested. That was a nice rest. Anybody notice anything? Something is not the same. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure all his caps were in place. All he felt was his own checked cap. What happened? He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked in back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Then he looked up in the tree. And what do you think he saw? Any guesses? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. Oh my goodness. What did these monkeys do? The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do, so finally he spoke to them. This is my favorite part, when he speaks to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers and said, "Tss, Can you guys do that? Tss, tss, tss. This made the peddler very angry, so he shook both his hands. I might have to put the book down for this. You monkeys, you give me back my caps. See what he's doing? But the monkeys only shook both their hands. Can you try that? Shake both your hands. Tss, tss, tss. Oh no. Now he felt quite angry, and he stamped his foot. That was a loud stamp. You monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet and said, tss, tss, tss. By this time, the peddler was really very angry. Look at him go. He stamped both of his feet and shouted, you monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet and said, tss, tss, tss. I think that these monkeys are copying him. I don't know how he's going to get his caps back. At last, he became so angry that he pulled his own cap off, threw it to the ground, and he walked away. Can you take your cap off? Pretend. Take it off, throw it to the ground. He's so angry. He might have to do some yoga later. And he's walking away. What's going to happen? But then, each monkey pulled off his cap. Fix the page. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. He did it. He got them to take off the caps. So the peddler picked up the caps. He put them back on his head. First his own checked cap. What comes next? And the brown caps. Then what? And the blue caps. Then the red caps on the very, very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. The end.